Hello and welcome to the SoundLab podcast interviews, unedited. On today's show, we have interviews from Story of the Year, Chilli Jesson, Space of Variations, Carly and Taylor, plus we throw back to 2023 to chat to Katy B. So without further ado, let's kick off with our first interview from Story of the Year. They've got a brand new album out now and we had a chat with them all about it. So, Story of the Year, how are you?
I am excellent. Just hanging out, just like I said, waking up. It's bright and early here. Well, it's not that early, but I don't wake up very early. So, yeah,
Yeah,
everything's good.
Good. That's great to hear. We've been playing a single of yours called See Through. Tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's our third single, our third release that we put out with the album, and it's a little bit different for us. It's kind of a poppier like feel to the song, but compared to the rest of the record, a lot of the record is pretty heavy. But yeah, this one we just wanted to experiment a little bit and try some new stuff. And Colin Britton, our producer, he had this idea he had already been working on with a songwriter named James Fauntleroy, and he brought it to us, and we were like, "Ooh, it was a cool chorus," and we kind of turned it into our own Story of the Year style and wrote some more stuff for it. And it was a little bit different on the record, but it's a cool song.
Yeah, good. And that is off your new record, Arson, which is out now. For those who've not had a chance to take a listen, tell us a bit about the record itself.
Yeah, it's out. It's called Arson. We're really happy about it. Yeah, we recorded, like I said, again with our producer Colin Britton, who did our last record, Tear Me to Pieces. So it has a very similar vibe to our last record, but it's just natural progression. There's a lot of really heavy stuff, a lot of really catchy big choruses, a lot of classic Story of the Year sound, and yeah, it's we're really happy with it. It seems to be going over very well. People are receiving it well, so that's all you can really ask for.
Yeah,
after 25 years of being a band or whatever,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll touch on that in a bit, but I'd like to find out if the sound that you made with the record, is it the sound you wanted, or is it kind of just how it turned out as you were writing and recording it?
We don't plan it out too much, Ryan, our guitar player, he writes a lot of demos, has like a bunch of riff ideas and like just like rough outlines of song ideas, usually like 30, 40 song ideas. And so then we get in the studio and just kind of go, oh, that's a cool riff, let's work on that. Yeah, not a lot of premeditated, like this record has to sound like this, or this is what's cool right now, or we don't do any of that. It's just we just start with one song at a time and go, yeah, cool, and then just write songs that we love, and don't worry too much about what other people are thinking. It's like as long as we love it, it usually will connect with the people. So then when you get done with the collection of like 12 songs or whatever, you kind of look back and go, oh, cool, what do we have here? That's the record. So, and then that's usually when we end up naming the record, is at the end of the process. You kind of listen back and you go, all right, what does this whole record feel like as a whole? And that's kind of the hardest part. It's like, all right, now what do we call that? So Arson ended up being a line, ARSON, from the song Gasoline, which we knew was going to go first on the record. And we just felt like that kind of had the vibe of the whole thing, and it worked out.
Good. To continue on the writing front, when you all get together and you've got those riffs and demos in place, at what point do you get involved, and do you have kind of the lyrics ready to go, or?
Every record's a little different. This time we kind of wrote everything in the studio, because we would fly to LA from St. Louis. We were doing it in LA with Colin, but he's the drummer of Linkin Park as well. So he was very busy. So it was kind of like an on and off schedule that we were doing. So we would fly to LA for like 2 weeks, work on some songs, kind of write in the moment in the studio. And like I said, we would pick a song or like a riff or idea or something that we liked and just kind of build off of it the whole time. And then we would all start singing like a melody of some kind. It always starts with some kind of melody, like, oh, no, okay, that's cool. Yeah, that sounds cool. And then you kind of go, all right, what's like a lyric that could fit that? Usually start with a chorus. And like a song like Gasoline, the first song on the record, we were just the vibe of the music and everything. We knew it needed to be like a harder, screamy vocal. And somebody in the room just said something like, oh, gasoline. And I was like, ooh, gasoline. I was just like, I kind of just wait and grab things out of the air and go, ooh, oh, that's cool. That fits the vibe, And like just the one word, gasoline, that kind of molded the whole song and led us in the right direction of like what that should be. And then you kind of figure out, okay, what does that mean? Okay, burn it all down, fuck it up, burn it down. This like that just kind of made sense after you get the idea of gasoline. It's like you know where to go. So every song's a little different, but usually you find one line at a time and then you kind of build off of it and see what it means to you.
Nice. And I'm sure you wrote more than what made it onto the record. What happens
Yeah.
to those now? Is it a case of trying again, seeing if they work further down the line, or will it be a case of starting afresh when the time comes?
Yeah, there's always a few. Like, there's definitely one full B side that we saved on purpose that we'll probably put on some kind of reissue or re-release. But there was probably three or four that we almost finished recording and just were working on in the process. But then we realized, okay, maybe that one's not good enough. So we just kind of abandoned a couple throughout the process. That always happens, and we rarely ever go back and work on them again. It's weird because they're never bad songs. It's just like there's a couple ideas that are really decent that we have half recorded that we could easily finish, but I don't think we will. It's kind of like we just like to keep moving forward, and keep pushing. And it's real weird. It's very rare for us to look backwards and be like, well, let's go back and fix this. And yeah, once we complete a record, it's kind of just done.
Yeah, fair enough. And you mentioned 25 years doing this now, 7 records in as well. How have you and how has the music evolved over those years?
Oh man, yeah, it doesn't seem like it's been that long. It's I don't know. I mean, Page Avenue came out in 23 years ago, but we started, this version of this band a couple years before that. So it's been at least 25 or 26 years now. It's still the same 4 people that started this band, which is rare. We've had other guitar players throughout the time as well, but this 4 of us that are still in the band, we started this band while we were called Big Blue Monkey, actually, weirdly. And like this lineup was about 2000-ish. So it's very weird. It doesn't feel that long. We're all still just the same weirdos that we all live in St. Louis. We grew up skateboarding together and just kind of playing music. And it's like, we're all friends first and we just love playing music. So it's like, I guess that's what keeps us together. But musically and stuff, it never really changes. Like I said earlier, we just kind of get together and we don't plan things out. We just make music that we love, and it's always been the same thing. It's like just get together, play music for fun, and hope that people like it, and hope that this can be our job, and hope that we can continue to do it. And it's been working out. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, for sure. And obviously, I imagine the writing process has changed because of technology advances, but has it really?
Yeah, I mean, that definitely. When we were like 20 years old, we would get in a room together for like 16 hours a day, and we would just play music, and we would sit in that room until we had songs done. That was a lot different because we had more time. We had a lot more energy when you're when you're that young. Now we all have families and lives and different things going on, so the writing process has changed. It's more sharing music via technology, recording demos and stuff like and a lot like last couple records, it would be Ryan would send me music demos. I would record full vocal ideas, send them back, and then we would just throw ideas back and forth until we thought we were close enough to go in the studio. But yeah, and then this record was more just get in the studio and just work on them again in the room. So yeah, every record's different, just depending on the timing and what we all have time for and how we can get together and make it work. But other than just the technology and that kind of thing, it's all the same. It's just how can we get together and make time?
Yeah, for sure. And now that the record is out, I'm sure you'll be wanting to play some shows and many people will want to see you, but you've not got too much booked in at the moment, considering you've just released a record. Tell us a bit about what your plans are for shows this year.
Yeah, we were supposed to be in Australia right now, actually. We were going to do this big festival thing with Parkway Drive and a couple bands from Australia, but that ended up getting canceled. So that kind of threw a wrench in our releasing plans. But we have a lot of touring that we are getting ready to announce. A lot of US stuff, a couple big tours here, and then we need to get back to the UK and Europe, which is we're working on it. We're doing Download over there. And we got a lot of festival stuff coming up, just like random one-off festivals. So we're trying to book a lot of stuff around that. And yeah, we're figuring it out. But yeah, that Australia thing kind of threw us because we were planning on having the album come out and be in Australia for a month, and then announce more stuff after that. But sometimes that happens. So it's not a big deal. I kind of rather enjoy being able to just be at home and enjoy the release and just get to talk to people about it instead of being crazy being on tour every day. I get to see a little bit more of how people are reacting and how people are liking it, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, definitely. And so does that mean this year is going to be busy for you, or is it a case of waiting and seeing at the moment?
Yeah, like as soon as like summertime rolls around, we're pretty much booked for the rest of the year. We're really busy, and we got a lot of stuff. It'll all be getting announced. We're just finalizing a few things, but yeah, it's going to be a crazy busy year, and I assume that'll build into next year as well. Now that the record's out, and yeah, people are actually very happy with it from what I've seen. I've seen 99% positive reviews. We got one really funny negative review that we will probably post because I love just making fun of ourselves. But but yeah, I think the reception's been so good. I think yeah, we're gonna go as hard as we can on this record and really try to promote it.
Good. And is there anywhere you've not been to yet and played that you want to get to at some point?
Um, yeah, I mean we've been a lot of places, a lot of countries over the years. We are actually playing Warp Tour in Mexico City this year, and we've never played in Mexico before, which is kind of cool. Although they're having a lot of political issues right now. I guess like one of the drug lord got murdered or whatever. So as long as that doesn't turn into some crazy full on war, which I think the Warp Tour Mexico show is not till August or something. So hopefully that'll all be better by then. But that's what I'm looking forward to. We've never got to do like anywhere in Africa. It's one of the only continents we haven't played. We've done a lot of Asian countries, Australia, all through Europe, South America. So Africa is the only continent left on the wish list. But yeah, we'll see. We've had offers; it just doesn't always work out. So, but I'm just, in my mid 40s now. I'm very sick of airplanes and the idea of flying anywhere now. I'm like, oh God, seriously?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, can't I just drive down the street and play the show? Yeah. But no, yeah, I can't. Yeah, I'm happy to play anywhere at all times.
Yeah, good. And finally, I'd like to find out about show days. So for you, talk us through, in somewhat briefly, I guess, what your day looks like when you're performing that night.
Well, like I said earlier, I'm not an early riser, so especially on tour, because when you play at 10 p.m. every night or whatever, I usually don't wake up till like 1 or 2 p.m. On tour, just because I like to just sleep as much as I can for my voice. That's the best recovery for screaming and singing as hard as you can every day. So wake up a little late, get up, eat some food, go do sound check. We usually have some kind of meet and greet or something, a couple hours later. Just kind of chill, just wander around, maybe walk around the city a little bit, but I don't do much exploring anymore. We've been everywhere a few times, so I've seen it all. About 2 hours before the show, usually have a drink or two. It's always a nice Jameson of some kind, warm the vocals up. And yeah, and I have a little warm up routine I do for my voice and stuff, but it's pretty simple. Just have a drink, get the voice going, go on stage, have fun, get off stage, eat again, and do it all again every day. It's pretty simple, just depending on what city you're in and what craziness is going down.
No, for sure. Is there anything that you kind of have to do, or is there anything that you really cannot do while you're on tour?
Not really. I'm very low maintenance. I have to do my warm up. It's only like about 15 minutes. It's a pretty simple warm up, and it's not real high or anything. But I'm very like meticulous about an hour before the set. I make sure I warm my voice up and stuff. But no, other than that, no, I don't do anything right. It's like I drink whatever I want to drink before I play. Do whatever. I don't like to eat within like a couple hours of playing, just because of us jumping around and running around on stage so much. I like to feel a little light and not too weighed down. But no, other than that, I don't have too much necessity.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Story of the Year. Now, we are all over social media, so come and find us at The Sound Lab Yes on all the socials, and you can also check out the website at thesoundlabuk.co.uk. So while you go and find us on all the socials and give us some follows, we've got our next interview from Chilli Jesson. You will know him as a member of Parma Violets. He also went solo, but he's now part of the Dead Dads Club, and he's just released a new record. So Chilli Jesson, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you doing?
Not too bad, thanks so much. So we've been playing a single of yours called That's Life. Tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
It's a banger. It's a straight up sort of uplifting song. It's a more uplifting song on the record, which I think we really needed for it because it was one of the last tracks we added um, to it. It just felt a bit unbalanced, and I love that song so much. It references a time I worked in a pub and having two different conversations with two different customers about their views on life, essentially, and whether everything's all premeditated or whether we truly do have freedom. I just found that really interesting, especially when you're discussing about loss and death. I find that notion really, interesting, basically.
Yeah, no, for sure. And obviously that relates quite closely to the band name Dead Dad's Club. Tell us a bit about the project you formed as well.
Um, what would you like to know specifically?
Whatever you want to tell us about the project itself.
Um, it's there are four other band members. I have a kind of right-hand guy called Rupert Greaves who sings two songs on the record. And it's really it's an extremely personal record that I hope um, um, w- will resonate with people who have experienced some kind of loss, whether it be in a relationship or um, whether it be in a parent, like in my situation. Um, but I found this process extremely healing, not to put it in a kind of hippie way, but it really has been for me. And I didn't take any compromises, and I really, just said it how it was. So that, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. And you've got your debut record out now. Also, it's a self-titled Dead Dad's Club record. For those who've not had chance to listen to the record yet, tell us a bit about the release.
Um, yeah, it came out a few weeks ago on Fiction Records, and it has. I mean, it is a concept record and has a sort of linear story that runs all the way through it from when I was 13 years old up until basically the present day. So I think concept records are pretty uncool, so but I think I'm clawing back a bit of cool for them, basically. So I'm hoping to see more concept records written in the future.
Yeah, no, that's good to hear. And I'd like to talk a bit about the writing process as well. So for you, how did the writing for this record take place? And for you, when you write music, how do tracks normally start as well?
They usually start with me on an acoustic guitar with a melody, kind of singing some conscious, gibberish. But in this case, it was I'd never done it this way where I'd written the lyrics first, sort of as in a poem form, um, because I was on a bus touring through America, and I just felt a bit embarrassed being on the guitar in front of the group of people I was with because they're so brilliant, So I sort of just confided in um, just a pad and paper during the night, and I found a real freedom with that. So, you know, as long as I've been writing songs, I've never done it that way round, and it was such a liberating way. Of course, I carved it back, to fit melody, and they're pop songs essentially. So bits need to be rejigged, but it was a total yeah. I love that. Thanks for bringing up that question. I forgot about that. I'm just about to write like some more bits, and I should go back to that. It's good.
Yeah, do you think going forward you'll continue to write in this kind of new way, or do you think you might revert back to how you've done it
I've
before?
I've already reverted back, so I'm glad we brought this up because it's been a pretty dry week this week. So you know.
Try a different angle.
Exactly, exactly.
And when you're writing for a project with a band like Dead Dad's Club, how does
Hmm.
that differ compared to writing for when you're releasing your solo stuff?
Um, so the solo thing, confusingly, was kind of, you know, was basically a building block, and I essentially hated it. You know, I'm not I'm not I'm not that good at being on my own at all. You know, I like to be surrounded by people. I like to buzz off ideas. I mean, I like those initial moments and songs to, I enjoy that by myself and figuring that out. But once it gets to a certain point, I just feel like collaborating with people is just, it's always been such a important part of my life in other bands. So I needed to make the solo record in order to make, well, not a record. I never released a record, and I've edited my past, so lots of it's been taken down off Spotify and stuff like that, which has been extremely liberating for me. But I needed to do some stuff for cash, um, and it led me to this place. And I've been lucky enough to be able to edit my past and kind of, you know, start from here, really, which has been. Um, which actually we do slag off the modern age, but that's been pretty great.
Yeah, no, I can well believe. And when it comes to this record as well, the sound that you've made with it, is it the sound you wanted, or is it kind of how it turned out as you were writing and recording it?
No, again, like this whole thing has been really thought about. And during when my dad died when I was 13, and me and my sister, like all our cousins, would come over to the flat quite often. They were a bit older than us, and they were like just into sort of MTV music, I'd call it sort of like Smashing Pumpkins and the Verve even, and those kind of groups. So I love that music. I've I've like always loved it. And so I really wanted the record to be as visceral as possible. So I think when I was right, I definitely had a sort of kind of sound in my mind that I wanted to kind of go with. And I felt like I had a clean palette to do that.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure you wrote more than what made it onto the record. What happens to those now? Is it a case of seeing how they fit down the line, or is it a case of starting afresh for the next project?
I I'm not that into if it's not good enough to go on, I really there have been tracks that nearly went on or nearly didn't go on, like That's Life, for instance. But I think it all happens for a reason. I had a lot of time to think about it. And like I only watch movies once. It's another
Hmm.
thing. Like there's so much out there to grab, and I feel like um, just always got to move forward, basically,
Hmm.
is what I think.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, for sure. And you've done some shows this year, particularly mainly some in-store shows. How have they been going down this year so far?
They've been great. It honestly it's been just brilliant. They're all packed out, and we didn't really know what to expect. And I think it was such a kind of quick campaign. We put the single out 2 or 3 months ago, Don't Blame the Sun, and then basically just put an album out 3 months and just felt like whatever happens we're so happy with it, and it'd be a great sort of springboard, but it's eclipsed anything that I could have hoped for, basically. So, there's another tour coming up. There's a load of festivals and stuff. So it's been brilliant.
Yeah, good. What else have you got booked in at the moment?
Yeah, so it's essentially there's a tour in May, sort of Great Escape in there, few other kind of inner city festivals, and then just festivals in the summer, really, around this tour in May,
Hmm.
basically, which would be great.
Yeah, no, I can well imagine. And looking towards the end of this year as well, I'm sure you'll be wanting to be on the road again. What's the ideas at the moment?
I haven't really thought that far, to be totally honest. We're lucky that we have people in place who sort that out.
Mhm.
So um, I'll have to ask them at some point. But one thing at a time, I want to make this tour coming up totally brilliant. Just kind of in the way that we did the in-stores. There was a couple of in-stores that were just going to be in the record shop, and we changed the feel of the songs, used new instrumentation. So I'm really just on um, making the show as good as possible, no matter how big or small it is. It's
Mm.
been a really great thing to get my teeth into.
Yeah, I can well imagine. And you've been doing some touring with Fontaines DC. How's that been going? And you've got much more with them to be on the road with them?
Yeah, that's been great. That's probably the most life-changing thing that's happened to me in my life. And I don't think Dead Dad's Club would have existed without them. So they were, and of course Carlos produced the record, and that collaboration has been, um, yeah, I mean he really just did the most amazing job on this album. So um, yeah, I hope there will be lots more with them as well, because it's just unbelievable to play to that many people in a band that you love every song of. They're my favorite band, so to be in that band as a live entity is a real dream.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's just jump back in time just a little bit back to when you started out with Parma Violets. What was it like forming that band and taking it to where it ended up? Because it became quite a big band. Did you know at the time it was going to be so big?
No, not at all. Um, it was, yeah, it's a kind of blur, that period of time for sure. A lot of time has passed since then, but I only have really fond memories of that time, and four really close mates just getting fucked up and playing music together, and just um being teenagers basically, and having the world at your feet. It is mental, the amount of responsibility people gave us. And I'm shocked that people even came to see us. It was just crazy. So, and it's been great, it's made me who I am, and it's such a big part of my identity and the other lads in that band. So, um, yeah, I'm forever grateful for that.
Mm, yeah, good. Are you still speaking to them all?
I speak to most of them. There is one that I won't mention that I don't speak to that often, but I think about him a lot. So, you know, I think it's interesting. I think we've all had kids now from that band. So maybe we should go to the park and hang out together, with the
And, and
kids.
and maybe see where that leads, I guess.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Chilli Jesson. Now, if you're listening to us on Spotify, then you'll be pleased to hear we also have a Spotify playlist. It brings you 150 brand new up-and-coming artists that we feel like you might just enjoy yourselves. If you want to check that out, search Fresh by The Sound Lab on Spotify, or head to the website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk, and click on the Fresh playlist button. So while you go and find the playlist and give it a save to listen to later on, of course, we've got our next interview from Space of Variations. They've just released a brand new record and we had a chat with them all about it. So Space of Variations, how are you?
Good. A little bit tired because we just ended up the tour one day ago, like with Dimitri Paradox through European cities, mostly in Germany. So we yet need to have a few days of proper rest, and we will be much better.
Good, good. How was the tour? Was it all good?
Pretty much.
Yeah, it was okay. Like
It was more people even than I expected, to be honest. Like it was cool shows.
yeah, cool shows, cool experience. Nothing extraordinary happened, which is
Yeah.
very important. No no random stuff, no like kind of some unexpected problems.
Actually, pretty positive tour. As right now, we're like reflecting on it. Like most of our tours are like filled with more stress, maybe more health troubles. But Alex was on the bridge almost like to dive into the health troubles, but he survived. Yeah, and we all survived gladly. So yeah, the connection with the guys was pretty cool too. Like pretty positive. So
Yeah.
nothing extraordinary shit happens, and this makes this tour just the best.
Good. That's great to hear. And the reason you're out on the road at the moment, or have just finished, in fact, is because you've just released your new record, Poisoned Art. For those who've not had chance to listen to the record yet, one of you tell us a bit about the record itself.
I recommend you to listen to it. Like, that's what I'm gonna say. Like from cover to cover, you know, because it's very like it's full of different moods and full of different vibes, but at the same time, it's still heavy music. And yeah, and don't forget to use headphones, nice headphones or speaker system, because we try to make nice sound and express as much energy as possible.
Nice. Yeah, great to hear. And we've been playing a single of yours called Parallel Realities. Tell us a bit about the single as well.
I can tell you that this song should be like the first single actually from our album, but in the end we ended up with the Tribe because like we thought that maybe we need something like more heavy, more focused, more banger kind of to release, and the few parts in Parallel Realities was not working well, so I need to reinvent some vocal parts, like, you know, do some different, like completely different vocal lines. And in the end, when we finished the album, we listened to it and decide, oh, it's actually not bad song. Like, let's drop it like the last single, because it's like kind of melodic and very heavy in some moments. So it has like both vibes. But in that moment, we decided that Tribe is more like the real subject we want to talk about, and somehow we ended up with the Tribe, and it was good decision in the end. I mean, Parallel Reality is working very well, I think, as a last single. Like,
yeah, and at this moment of life, like personally for me, this somehow this reality, it's very like sometimes very works in very weird like little bit movie-like style, and this song now it's really like soundtrack, you know, for me, like all this parallel realities things, like it's literally happening a little bit. So I don't know, like it's a magic album. It's always bringing something and changing reality. Or from the first single till this moment, like it always fits. So yeah, and the song is actually, I like it, and I really know that this one of those songs where I put some honest. I always try to do it, but this song, it's really like honest for me. Like it has like not too much abstract stuff, but at the same time it's enough abstract so everybody can try to put the subject of the song on their own experience of life, and see a reflection in this song.
Yeah, nice. And you've released a few records now, some EPs as well. How does this record sound in comparison to the music of yours that's already out there?
You mean how it sounds like?
Yeah.
If we compare it, I don't know. I believe like it's a little bit more aggressive, like from point of view of sound. like it's more like sharp and you know, wall of sound style, and at the same time it's maybe more contrast. There are more contrasts between like this heavy, very like I don't know, groovy parts, and suddenly this very soft or unexpectedly electronic style parts. Like we did it before, but I believe on this record this contrast is even a little bit more, and also because of sound, the sound more heavy for me, I don't know, and this contrast works even more.
Good.
It's
Good.
kind of natural extension of our previous work. We tried to gather like a lot stuff from our previous experience on this album, and bring some new stuff like on the table, like, you know. So it's kind of how we're doing it all the time, and this is the result of our previous experiences, and kind of we're doing, if you will like listen to our previous albums, so you can say, oh yeah, I see the roots, like, and how the progression was made, like, you know.
Yeah.
And the sounds that you've made with this record, was it the sound that you wanted, or is it kind of how it turned out as you were writing and recording it?
It's
I believe
it's both at the same
Yeah.
time. Yeah, like we're doing something what we want, and sometimes we just need to accept what we have, like, and just work with this. And what I can say, that there was no like something like plan. Yeah, we just need this and this. It was like flow, and we
let's
just
see what we will be able to pull out, like, you know, from
Yeah.
ourselves. Like, for me,
Yeah.
it's always like the process of searching, you know. And how can you, sometimes you don't know what you're searching, like, you know. And so I believe that it cannot be planned in some way, and the raw emotion of the moment is dictating you, like, you know, the real subject, like, that you want to speak about, or the real emotion that you want to show, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'd like to talk a bit about the writing process as well. So for you guys, how do tracks normally start off?
Often it starts with sketches, like guitar, drums, sketches, and then
Electronic sketches.
yeah, and sometimes with electronic sketches, yeah, like we have some kind of folder, let's say, on internet, and like chat. This is the chat with all the sketches, and we put everything there, and we have access to it, and we can listen even small or like almost whole songs, or small sketches, or I don't know, only guitar and voice, only drums and guitar, like all the random is there. And but yeah, everything started almost always with like some guitar drums sketch, or guitar drums and electronics sketch, and then it turned to the song. But sometimes not so often, but sometimes it can be like almost the finished song, like it happened with Halo. There was like almost finished song, which our bass player Anton, he brought this like big sketch, and then we changed something, of course, like some parts, but it was like the whole structure already there. And for example, Ghost Town, I wrote this the whole song like in one evening suddenly, because I had like I forgot the word.
Inspiration.
Inspiration. Yeah, I wanted to write something like this, and yeah, so sometimes it works like this, but sometimes it's like totally like random. We just put something from here, from this sketch, something from this sketch, and try to combine, try to change parts, like, yeah, so that's how it works for us.
Nice, yeah, good. And we talked a bit earlier about being on tour, but you've got more dates coming up and more touring. Tell us a bit about what you've got planned this year and doing more shows.
Oh, we're going to play a lot of shows in 1 month, mostly in France, and in Czech Republic, in Poland. Yeah, I believe in where?
Romania.
Romania, Slovakia. Yeah, we'll be there. So we're pretty excited because we never toured as much in France, actually, and it will be interesting. Yeah, and we will play with the cool bands, so I believe it will be interesting experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, and do you hoping to come over here to the UK at some point?
Yes. Right now we're in the middle of discussion. One big UK festival wants to bring us, and I cannot tell which one right now, obvious, but we're in the middle of discussing some stuff. And we played in UK like 2 times before that, 2 times before, so it will be cool to come back. We love to play shows in UK audience. Like, it's one of the best markets for modern heavy music. You know, you with musical culture in your country, everything is okay, super cool. I mean, the legendary bands. You know, like you have it in your country, in your blood. You know, it's always weird. It was first time when we were playing shows in London, you know, just to know the history, like of that venues or whatever. Like, you know, music came out from that streets. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
For us, we're from Ukraine.
I remember when we just first time ever came to UK. We just took our car from ferry and go this like through some random like city. I don't remember exactly which one, but the vibe and the whole like picture before my eyes, it somehow triggered me, and I was thinking that I would like to record album here. Like it was subconscious thing, and I always remember this feeling. Like the vibe is kind of triggered me really. So yeah, I believe we need to come back for tour and maybe to record something one day. Who knows?
That sounds good. Is there anywhere you've not been to and played yet that you want to go and play at some point?
Is there any places that we want to play
that you haven't been to yet?
Yeah, I'm manifesting this on all interviews. I want to play South America. They're really beautiful, exotic places. Like, it's super cool, super excited. And we had like the few offers before, but something went wrong. I remember what went wrong, but I will not tell you. It will be a secret. But yeah, of course, like I want to play Australia. It's will be cool experience. Like, I want to play in Japanese. I want to play in some different Asian countries. We played already. We will be playing in Egypt like next fall. It will be like so cool experience too. Like, we played a few times in Dubai already. It was awesome. Like, so as much exotic places, it's as like better. Whatever, like New Zealand, like I don't know. I'm ready to play in all these crazy places.
Yeah, but also it would be nice to come back one day to USA. Also, it was nice experience for us.
It's the spot, yeah. It's the spot, like, and we had like really cool feedback.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with a space of variations to talk about their brand new record. Now, if you're loving all of today's interviews, then you can hear them once again in an edited form on our international radio show. It's called Future Hits, and it brings you all of today's interviews alongside a load of new music and a live session too. And if you want to check that out, head to the website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk, and click International Radio Shows. So while you go and check that out, we've got our final new interview, and it comes from Carly Ann Taylor. She's been busy releasing new music and got more on the way. So Carly Ann Taylor How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Yeah, not too bad. Thanks so much. So the single of yours that we've been playing recently is Why Should I Worry? Tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
Well, thank you so much for the support. Why Should I Worry has been a very important song for me just in this last year. I'm coming up on a year being signed, which is wild. And Why Should I Worry, I wrote after I graduated college. I was going through this kind of life crisis in a way. I entered into this season of depression and just like fear of my future. You know, after graduating, it can be really hard to know what the Lord has for you. And I entered into a really difficult season in my life, and my mom encouraged me because she could see that I really wasn't myself. And she just encouraged me with scripture saying, why should you worry? Like, God is taking care of you. He has great plans for you. And when you seek his kingdom, all else will follow. And from Matthew 6, she just encouraged me with that, and found myself at my piano with my little sister randomly, and just felt like a complete download almost of the Lord saying all of these things to me, and looking at my sister and reflecting like, if she was going through this, what would I want to say to her as well? And Why Should I Worry? I remember like not even having to try to rhyme. It was kind of like the Lord was literally speaking it to me. And I wrote it just like something personal for me. And then my parents gifted me the production of one song with like a dream producer of mine, Dave Cook. And he lives super close by to my house. So I brought a few songs to him, and Why Should I Worry was the last one that I showed him. I was so nervous. And he was like, wow, that's interesting. My wife and I were in that portion of scripture this morning. Let's tackle that one. So it's just like a little nugget the Lord was showing us, like, let's focus on this one, and finish writing it with him and my dad. And then literally the day that it released, my dad had asked me to open for his band. So we were preparing over the summer and all of that stuff. And then the day that it released was the show. And 2 A&R reps from Curb Records were there at the show. And within a week, I had an offer. So it was like, boom. And it felt like the Lord was giving me, why should I worry? Because he was like, literally, why should you worry? I'm taking care of your future. And all of the things that I was anxious about, he worked all of it out. And that was a very faith-building experience for me. And now, like, Why Should I Worry kind of being the song that's like starting up my career a little bit. And it's just been a song that's like a huge testament to the Lord's faithfulness. And yeah.
Nice. Sounds like everything aligned for this single. And I hear that there's plenty more music of yours coming our way. What's your plan for this year, and releasing some more music?
Woo, this year is going to be amazing. I am actually wrapping up my album. I have a ton of songs that are in the mix process. I have some masters already, and just kind of nearing the end of everything. I have a couple of writes this week, and you never know, like, something might be crazy and we might swap things out or add to it. But we're looking at a full-length album. Not too sure how we're going to release it. I know that I'll be doing some singles, but probably the end of this year, next year, we're going to be putting out the entire album. I'm really, really excited about it.
Yeah, nice. Sounds good to me. Do you know the direction you're wanting to go in with the sound of the album?
So I'm actually trying to do kind of an eclectic thing. I have lots of different genres on the album. A really like big example for me has been Brandon Lake, just with like seeing his whole project. His voice is really what glues everything together, and he's able to do so many different styles. I will say I don't personally have country or rock on my album, but I have just like kind of a fusion of a bunch of different styles. And a lot of really the focus is the storytelling. I really want to tell my story through all of these songs and all these people that I've written with, and just the community I've built within this project. Community and story, the story is what is going to be kind of the highlight of this project, and I'm really excited for it.
Nice, amazing. And I'd like to talk about the writing side of things as well. So for you, how do tracks normally start off?
Yeah, it has been very different in every single room on purpose. When I first sat down with my team, I told them I really wanted to write with everybody. And they were like, you want to write with everyone, but like that takes time. And I'm like, but why can't we just go boom and just write with everybody? And so I was really intentional about going into different rooms with different people, different personalities, and they've always been like, okay, what kind of thing do you want to do? And I'm like, well, I really believe in different parts of the body of Christ and bringing all of your talents together. And so I always go into a room saying, I don't want any boundaries. I just want to see what comes out. And so every single process has been completely different. Like, I usually will tell my testimony and kind of how I have ended up here, and a lot of the things that I went through as a kid, and just kind of the miracle of the Lord pulling me out of all of it when I was 15, and being raised on a small island and literally being taken off that island for my entire life to be changed. And usually it just starts with like conversation and community and just kind of trying to build a little bit of a relationship. You just meet the person kind of when you go into a write, like when you're a new artist. So I'm still getting to know everybody, and that's so wild to me that that's how writes are. But it's been amazing getting to know everybody. I sometimes will have one of the writers in the room that's more emphasized on the production. They'll kind of start like a loop to kind of get some inspiration going. Sometimes it's just straight up on like an acoustic guitar. I'm definitely more of a top liner, so melodies are more of my thing, and kind of being able to tell my story, and they're already like writing down little things that I'm saying, and then we implement them into the songs. It's really cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you've got a busy year ahead, I'm sure, but when it comes to gigs and shows, there's not much booked in the diary that I can see just yet. What's your plan this year and doing some shows?
Yeah, I am definitely a firm believer in kind of taking the opportunity that the Lord has given me with the team that I have to build something behind the scenes first. I know that a lot of artists, they kind of go out and they're touring and kind of trying to meet a lot of the people, which is amazing. I just feel like I really want to focus on this time to kind of really draw near to the Lord, see what he's trying to do in the very beginning stages. Because I know I'm like a big live person. I've been singing since I was 3 years old on stage. So not doing things live is definitely a big shift and a change for me. But I've really just kind of heard from the Lord that this is the time to draw back, to create something, to focus in on the details. I do join my dad's band, Hopeful. When they do shows, we're doing Rock the Universe, and I'm joining them. So I'll be kind of guest appearing at that. So like little things here and there, conferences. I'm a worship leader at heart, so I am a sucker for conferences and leading and all of that. But I can definitely see next year being a big live and in-person year for sure.
That's good. That's great to hear. And you must have some aspirations of things you want to achieve in your music career. What's one thing you really want to do?
Yeah. This one is very funny. I have a huge dream of collaborating with Phil Wickham. He is my absolute favorite, and maybe Phil will see this. Hey, Phil.
It's possible.
Yeah. He has just been kind of a worship leader for me. Like since I accepted Jesus, I've really looked up to him and the way that he does things, the way that he leads people through his music. And so that's like a very big thing that I'd love to do, or maybe open for the Summer Worship Nights tour with him and Brandon, you know? But yeah, some of the things that I dream of doing might not be what a lot of people, you know, go towards, but just kind of leading worship with the people that have led me is a really big thing that I want to do.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Carly Ann Taylor. Now, this is the part of the show where we like to throw back in time to interview an artist we did a few years ago. And we're going back to 2023, where we had the pleasure of chatting to Katy B. So, Katy B, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Thanks so much. So, firstly, you've teamed up with King of the Rollers for a new track called Paradise. Tell us a little bit about the track.
It's basically, I got the song, like an instrumental from them, and the track was already called Into Paradise, so that was a really lovely kind of starting point of inspiration for something to write about, and I just kind of wanted to write about kind of just getting lost in the moment, getting lost in someone or somewhere. Like it kind of made me think of like Glastonbury or being at a festival and kind of being out of reality and knowing that you kind of have to go back to your life, but you're having that break, you know, there's some time outside of your mind, basically.
Good. And is this the start of more things to come from yourself, or is this just a standalone single for now?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm excited to perform this song over summer, and just I put 100% into it, and but yeah, I definitely think after summer, hopefully there'll be more stuff.
Good, excellent, and great to hear. Now, you've done a number of collaborations in the past, both of your tracks and featured on others, and the like. How do these collaborations, including this one, come about?
Well, this one in particular, we have the same management, and we both kind of use the same studio. So I was kind of like hearing their songs, the music that they were making, and I wanted this one. Just definitely wanted this one for myself.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, looking back over your back catalogue, you've been featured on others' tracks, and you've had others join you. Is it a case of you asking them, or do they come to you, or a bit of both?
It's a bit of both, really. Sometimes, you know, if I sort of hear a song and if I have someone in particular of who I would imagine would complement it, or people do that vice versa. You know, yeah, so it depends on, and then sometimes you just really, really, you know, vibe with someone's music and you kind of get into the studio and start something from scratch, which is always exciting as well.
Yeah, definitely. And as mentioned a little bit earlier, you said you can't wait to be playing this track live. What's the plan for the summer? Are you hoping to be at a number of festivals?
Yeah, definitely. I'm headlining one of my first festivals, Flashback Festival, that's in Manchester. Also can't wait to play Love Saves the Day. Where else am I playing, Labs? Sorry, I've got my manager here with all the dates. Oh, I'm going to be in Bournemouth. I'm going to be at Ocean Fest in Devon, Stanton Call in Hertfordshire. South Basin Festival as well, which I'm really excited about in Crystal Palace. I'm going to be supporting Rudimental, which is very close to where I live. So I kind of feel like half the audience is going to be my family and friends, probably. So I'm very excited about that. So yeah, lots of stuff coming up.
Good, great stuff. And when it comes to writing, you obviously mentioned with Paradise, you got sent the instrumental. Is that how it works for you? What works for you? Do the lyrics come first? The melodies come first? How does writing work for you?
I quite like to kind of write the lyrics and the melody at the same time. So I kind of think about what I want to write about first, and then kind of, basically the lyrics and the melody kind of start at the same time, if that makes any sense. I know some people like to write their melody first and then they put lyrics to it, or vice versa, but I kind of like, I don't know, I guess the lyrics kind of dictate what the melody does, if that makes any sense. Yeah, so.
Yeah. Do things come to you quite easily and quite naturally, or have times been a struggle for you to try and get that inspiration to write a track?
Sorry, say that again?
So when it comes to writing these tracks, have things been quite easy and natural when it comes to you, or have there been times where there's been a struggle to try and find that inspiration?
100%. Yeah, 100%. Like, there are times when I don't feel inspired, you know, a lot of the time, to be honest with you. But I feel like those moments, I think I was watching something I can't even remember, online about, like, I think those are the moments where you kind of like try and learn something new and try and research something new. And I think you have to consume things to be able to put things out, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. So I always try and like listen to, you know, a new album that I haven't listened to before, or read up, you know, about a certain history of something that inspires me, if I kind of get into those kind of places and just sit with stuff for a while before I try and make things again.
Yeah, most definitely. And you've been around now for 13, 15 years. I think you've been working on your music. Do you feel like now you've found your place, your sound, or do you think there's still more of a journey that you can take and find more?
I mean, I guess I've always kind of got my heart and soul and like rooted in club and dance music, definitely. But, you know, I'm writing all the time, you know, especially like I went to a music school, so I'm still in touch with like all my friends from there who play instruments and things like that. And sometimes we just get into the studio and jam, and I've got, you know, loads of different kinds of songs that I've written that, you know, hopefully something, who knows what will come of you know, the stuff that you've written in the past and future. You just don't know, do you, about what direction things go. So I don't really want to, I don't know. I guess so. Yeah, things are always evolving, aren't they?
Yeah, indeed. And you must still have many aspirations of things you want to still achieve in your music career, being still fairly young. What's one more thing that you feel like you feel like you really have to achieve?
Do you know what? I feel very, very grateful and blessed, you know, that this is my occupation. And yeah, I don't know. Oh, that's a good question, actually. I'll have to think about that. I don't know. Gosh, I think, what would I like to achieve?
Put you on the spot.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to come back to you on that. Definitely. I feel like just because I've, you know, dreaming of being a singer from when I was really young. Like I've like just been able to do so many things I thought I'd never be able to do. Yeah. And the fact that I still get to do it, I'm just so grateful and thankful for. So I haven't really thought about anything like that. But I need to get on my vision board. You're right. I need to start manifesting some things, definitely.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Katy B to talk about what she was up to back in 2023. And that is the end of the show for another week, I am afraid. But don't you worry, we will be back with another episode next week. But if you can't wait until then, social media at The Sound Lab, yes, on all the socials. And you can also check out the website at thesoundlabuk.co.uk. And we will be back next week for another episode of Interviews Unedited. Goodbye.